tag a friend, and share the video. We're gonna go ahead and get started with questions asked number 60. Questions asked number 60. The question at the top of the key tonight is, what is the difference in property type and property style? So before we answer this question, guys, let's do some housekeeping. For those of you who are brand new to real estate, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comment section, or if you're new to Broker Price Opinions, drop a 1 in the comment section. For those of you who are new to the page and you have not liked the page, go ahead and like the page right here on Facebook. If you are visiting on YouTube, guys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And if you are here after the fact, go ahead and hashtag replay, okay? So for those of you who don't know me, I am Angela Cooper. I am a business coach. I help real estate agents increase their income while they are waiting on buyers and sellers to close, and or while they are trying to build their pipeline. Now, I do this through various ways, several different streams of income that I teach. But on this particular platform today, we are talking about broker price opinions, okay? The question at the top of the key is, what is the difference in property type and property style, okay? So when you're answering your CCAP or zone, like I had like a buttload of BPOs this weekend. We ain't even gonna talk about that, okay? But they ask you for the property type. Most of them have a drop down and you have multiple choice, a lot of different ones to choose from. Well, if it's a 1-story, you pick, one story. 1 story can also be a rambler ranch. You could have a 2-story, a 3-story, a 1-unit, a 2-unit, 3-unit, 3-story. Whatever fits your subject property, that is your property type, okay? If it's a 1-story and you don't see that, because a lot of people say, well, it's a 1-story, but I don't see the 1-story. You can always use a ranch or bungalow, something of that nature for your 1-story, okay? Now, on the property style, that is different. Is it contemporary, historical? Is it traditional, maybe? How about Victorian? It could be colonial with all the posts in the front, on the front porch, That is your property style, okay? Big difference. I used to tell my admin assistant, if anything that's built after the 90s, use contemporary if it's offered, okay? If it's offered, I don't even get into all of that colonial and Victorian and, historical. I'm not doing all of that. Okay, Linda Pierce say, hostess with the mostest. Okay, guys, so you all know that you can ask questions live while we are live tonight, okay? I'll get your questions answered for you if I can see them, okay? I'm gonna bring this up a little bit more so I can kind of see a little bit better. But just make sure that you use your drop down, and that will help you learn how to tell the difference in the property type and the property style. Now, if you have one of those platforms that I always call raggedy, y'all know the ones I call raggedy, they want to pay you a little bit of money and then they don't even have the good digital platform where you can enter all of your stuff real fast. It's just, you gotta really do some tall thinking about what they trying to ask you. Okay, so you might not have a multiple choice. In that case, you have to know the difference in type and style. But for the most part, they're gonna give you a drop down and let you have a multiple choice and you get to pick traditional or contemporary for the most part, okay? That's the way I roll. You guys can do whatever you like because remember, it is your evaluation and you can answer it, however you want to. Okay. All right, let's go to question number 2, guys. Question number 2 is, what is the required distance for urban, suburban, and rural? Okay, what is the difference? Yes, urban is more city, okay? Suburban is the suburbs. Rural is, way out deep, like, land, acreage, farm, kind of like that, okay? But your urban is going to be mostly your city market, like, your downtown communities, like Manhattan. I would say that's urban, okay? In Houston, we have something called Midtown, okay, where it's like right on the outskirts of town, or like Houston have a lot of historical homes that are in the downtown area. I know that Linda Pierce gets urban all the time, okay, because she lives kind of close to like Midtown or downtown area, right, Linda? So in that situation, they want to make sure that you're picking comps within a half a mile. If it's an urban area, you should be picking comps within a half a mile as far as your list and your sold comparables are concerned. If you can't find anything to match, certainly you want to try to stay within a 1 mile radius, okay? If you have something that's urban, you definitely don't want to go and compare it to something that's in the suburbs. Most of the time, not. If you have a hard to find, okay, that's urban, you're in the downtown area, and you have to go to the outskirts of the suburban area to find a hard to find comp, that's a little different, okay? But you definitely want to make a location adjustment if you have to do that. Like I said, suburban area, okay? The suburbs, they want you to stay within 1 mile. However, if you have to exceed that mile, they would prefer that you not go more than 2 miles on suburban. So a half a mile on urban, max out is at 1 mile. On suburban, the minimum is 1 mile or less, okay? Always less than a mile if you can find that. But the max, they want you to max out on your suburban distance at 2 miles, okay? Now, occasionally when I get duplexes, in my area, duplexes are very rare, okay? Even where I live right now, townhomes are very rare. Like, I live in a suburban area, but there are hardly any townhomes. Most of the townhomes are up toward the city, like Midtown. So sometimes I cannot always find a townhouse that's within 2 miles, but there are some townhomes in this area, okay? I might even have to cross city lines to find, a hard to find comp suburban townhouse. At that point, I will kind of go out past 2 miles, but by all means, please try not to go out, more than 3 or 4 miles on your suburban requirements. And don't make it a habit of just, exceeding 2 miles. That's not good, because I tell you one thing for sure, quality control, they already know, okay, what's out there. Most cases, you're not the only person that's doing a BPO on that particular address, okay? So somebody else find the comp and you don't, that's not going to look real good on your behalf, okay? Rural, the distance for rural is 5 miles, okay? But maximum, they want you to go out is 5 miles. 2 to 5 miles if it's a rural area, okay? So sometimes you have to go out more than 5 miles, sometimes even 10 or 15 miles, depending on how rural the area is, okay? Because I know up toward Dallas, Fort Worth, they have a lot of, farm and ranch land out there. So most of their properties in some of the areas are just rural. It's always a rural property, especially here in Texas, okay? So if you have to go more than 5 miles for rural, you just want to make sure that you click the little radio button that says rural, because if not, I promise you, you will get a quality control error. All right. So that was question number 2. Your urban is 0.5 miles. Your suburban is 1 mile, and your rural is 5 miles. That's what they like for you to try to stay in that area. However, if you have to stretch it a little bit, just try to keep it as close to your subject property as possible. How about that? Okay. All right. So before we go to question number 3, you guys, you know the drill. If you are visiting us on Facebook for the first time, go ahead and like the page. If you are watching us from YouTube, guys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because this is where I bring you the goods on broker price opinions. Most of the new real estate agents are looking for that extra income. And if you're looking for that extra stream of income, broker price opinions is one way that you can make some extra money as a licensed real estate agent. So you have to be licensed. So go ahead and smash the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. I come there every couple of weeks. Facebook, we're here every week. Drop a 1 in the comment area. If you're new, brand new to real estate or broker price opinions, drop a 1 in the comment area. I have something right here in the show notes for you guys. It's a free webinar on broker price opinions, okay? Click inside the show notes. I do talk about how to get started with broker price opinions, okay? If you are visiting after the fact, go ahead and hashtag replay so we'll know that you were here visiting us. Okay. All right. So question number 3. Now this is kind of a hard one. So I want y'all to take notes and listen and come back to this video if you have to. See, which bracket value do I use when there is more than one? We have a low bracket value, a medium, and a high bracket value. You have three really visible bracket values. How do you know which one to use? Okay? Yeah, that's the deal. Now, here's the thing. In all honesty, you need to know your market, okay? Because quality control wants to know, why did you give this bracket value, the market value of $265, when the house, within a half a mile is at $470? Why? Why is this one $265 and this one $470? Okay? Because, guys, sometimes you have historical areas, okay? This particular area that I'm thinking about in my mind is historical areas, and there is posh and is elite, and you don't have nothing over there, and not redlining or anything, but the rich and the famous. Okay? And so I don't even think they have HOA over there, but the houses are so high you can't afford them, so nobody's over there but people that make long money. But a half a mile down the block, you have your average, properties, okay? So there's a big difference. Condition and market value, I guess I could say whatever that market value is in that area is going to create those different bracket values, okay? And then sometime you might have foreclosure properties in the same area, okay, within another half a mile in another direction, okay? Now you have 3. So you have to know your market. You have to know those locations. You have to know, what's going on in those different areas as to why one half a mile is a low, the other one is a medium, and the other one is just skyrocket high. You have to know that, okay? Some of those homes are custom homes. Some of those homes they're built in 1970, but they're gutted, clean, and made look like they're built in 2021, okay? Doctors, lawyers, all top of the line incomes in those areas. But right around the corner, it could be apartments, average income communities, okay? So you have to know that. We have one subdivision here where they have, 10 and 15,000 square feet homes with gated community with security around the clock. But as soon as you drive out of that community, I don't care which way you go, left or right. You have apartment complex communities and, $200,000-$300,000 houses. But inside that gate, you might have 10, 15,000 square feet, $5, $6, $7, $8 million houses. So you have to know your area, and you have to be able to explain that to quality control. Which bracket value do you pick? You pick the bracket value that go with that property. The condition, the quality, the construction quality of that house is gonna determine what that bracket value is. That's why they want a licensed realtor to go out there and create that value instead of somebody in the Philippines trying to say that the value is this and that, and they doing your BPOs and they turning them in wrong. You need to create that bracket value because those subdivisions. I could see a subdivision name and tell you right off the top, how much the value is. Now, I had a situation today that was really, gut-wrenching for me to decide a price because my subject was valued at about $350,000, $370 max, but there were no comps at all in the 300 range, okay? And the problem was the same situation. That particular subdivision is sitting on a corner with two different subdivisions on both sides that are about $100,000 more in value than that subdivision, but nothing has sold. So I had to bring my value down. Only had one property that has sold in that subdivision in the last year, okay? And that was really strange because it's been a lot of sales here lately this year, everywhere. The sales have just been. Now, list comps have been hard to find, but sold comps, not so much. But in this particular subdivision, it was only one comp that sold in the whole subdivision for the whole year. And I really believe it's because it is a newer subdivision built probably in 2019. So, when all of those, when they close on the house, who's going to move out of a subdivision in 2 years? So that's the only reason I could explain to quality control, why that exists. I had nothing else to choose from but the higher market properties. But I still kept my value under $400,000, okay? You just have to be able to explain why you bring your subject in at the lower end of that high bracket. So know your area, know your area, know your area. Pick the bracket that goes with the condition and the construction quality of your subject, okay? All right, question number 4. And guys, this is actually a mastery question, okay? When you have hard to find comps, question number 4. When you have hard to find comps, what criteria do you use when you can't find anything that's similar to the same style property that you have? Now, there we go. Is it similar to the same style or the type? Okay? Because a lot of people get it confused with, well, but my subject is a 1-story. The style of this other comp is a 2-story. No, that's not the style of the comp. That's the type. Property type is 2-story. The style is, colonial, contemporary, Victorian, traditional. And that doesn't even matter. What matters the most is how many room counts does your subject have and how many room counts does this one? How many bathrooms? How many bedrooms? How many garages? You have to know which adjustments you're going to give to those comps when you have a hard to find comps that match your property style. So let me say this. If you're trying to find comps to match your style, Victorian to Victorian, historical to historical, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Your whole match is for the property type, okay? Condo to condo. You know, 1 story to 1 story if you can find it, but you can still always go up 2 stories. And if you have a 2-story, you're really looking good because you could go up the 3-story and you could go 1 story, either way, okay? But you never have to match Victorian to Victorian or colonial. You don't have to do that. Okay, so you might be making those comps hard to find when in reality, they're not hard to find. They're there. You're just trying to match, you know, historical to historical. Well, my house is, you know, Victorian built and it has all these different arches and columns and all that. No, don't get caught up in that. Absolutely not. Now you can match, you know, you can look for, like if your subject has a swimming pool, okay, you want to make sure you have at least 1 list comp with a swimming pool and 1 sold comp with a swimming pool. Today, I had a subject with no swimming pool. All my sold comps were no swimming pool and all my list comps had swimming pools, okay? Now that situation right there, I don't even care about that because I'm not really basing my value on the list comps. I'm basing my value on the sold comps, okay? So that's another thing that you have to take into consideration. You have to know what adjustments in what areas you're going to give based on, everything should be really, your subject, the most weight should be based on your sold comps. They're the ones that's driving the value, not the list comps. Because guess what? I had 3 sold comps today that were in the 200 bracket, 249, 269, 279. And all the list comps were 325 and 360 and 370. Almost a whole 50,000 more than my sold comps. Why is that? Just because everybody is buying up everything, going and coming, you feel like you can raise the price and get what you want? Maybe you can. But in my situation, I had to tell the quality control analyst before he even sent it back to me, please note, all list comps are way blown out of proportion over the fair market value of this community. Sorry. It just was, okay? And you're not getting credit for those listings being, it's almost like, what do they call it when you have a hurricane or something? Price gouging. That's almost what it appeared to be in that scenario because all of the list comps were $30,000 and $40,000 and $50,000 more than the sold bracket. Who does that? What kind of realtor would do that? There's no way in the world I'm gonna know that this community is selling at $250 and I'm gonna tell you to list your property for $310. Don't do that. You know, that's crazy. That's foolishness. Okay, so don't ever do that. But when you have hard to find comps, you're basing it on the style. You shouldn't be. You should be basing your comps on, is this a 3-bedroom equal to my subject a 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom to 4-bedroom, something like that. Y'all got it? I know that's a lot of information. Like I say, that is a mastery question and it's for adjustments. Which adjustments do you give the most weight to when you're trying to find hard to find comps? It's about 6 different areas that you want to do adjustments. 6. Okay, I put 5, but it's 6, about 6 different areas. And in order for me to tell you that, you need to be in the mastery program, okay? In the mastery group, because that's something that goes with my paid program and all of my students know. Of course, they know, right? They know how to relax and what areas to relax in to get the best pricing, okay? So if you want to know more about adjustments and pricing, guys, go ahead and click the button inside the show notes to BPO Mastery and get yourself started in BPO Mastery. And I promise, right, guys, I will hold your hand until you get where you need to be. All right, so those are the 4 questions tonight, guys. It has been a pure plum pleasure serving you. Do anyone else have any questions live? I saw Jaime on here. Jaime, do you have any questions? I know that you're new to the group. I'm not so sure if you're new to Broker Price Opinions. I can't remember. Oh, you're new to BPOs. Okay. Always comment why you exceed guidelines on comms. There go my girl. That's a mastery line right there. Always comment on why you exceed report guidelines. That's right, Miss Jackie. And comments are so key when you are in a real awkward or hard to manage situation, like your values are kind of out of variance or something like, or you had to go a really long distance to find hard to find comps, okay? I know one of my persons have hard to find comps a lot because they're in a beach, like in the ocean by the sea community. So a lot of times they have hard time finding comps. And a lot of times when you have houses that are in like homefront, lakefront communities, it's hard to find comps. Poor Miss Linda, she always have hard to find comps because she right in the middle of downtown Chicago, Chi-Town. All right. So, but when you have hard to find comps, you do need to know how to explain how you got to your value so that you won't have a bounce back. Remember, the goal is to stay like Miss Jackie, you know, at 1% error rate, okay, or below. You know, you want to keep your error rate as low as possible so that you can become a preferred, you know, BPO agent. Yep, I'm like preferred in 5 companies right now, only because I choose to be. I don't want any more BPO companies putting me on their preferred list because they send you so much work. When you're a preferred agent, they send you all the work first. So you got to be ready to tackle that work, okay? And if you're not, get yourself in BPO Mastery so we can teach you how to do it in 1 hour or less. Right, Miss Jackie? All right, guys, so I'm through talking. Yes, use your cheat sheets. If you are a mastery student, you have lots of cheat sheets. Make sure you're using those cheat sheets, guys. All right, you all have an amazing week. I will see you guys on the next one. I may bob in on BPO in the group. If you're not in the Facebook group for BPO, Broker Price Opinions, get yourself in a Facebook group because you can scroll back and look at all of the videos in the group and learn some stuff. I'm not in the group as much as I used to be before because I'm building another stream of income right now. But I do come in whenever I feel like it's something important I need to tell y'all during the middle of the week. Yes, I will come in and talk about something that's going on that I feel like you guys need to know to get your BPOs done faster. Okay? All right, y'all have an amazing week. I will see you on the next one. Bye now. Thank you guys for joining me tonight.